We've had some rain. Lots of rain. All right, well, we have had quite a bit of rain, and I knew that the water level of the bayou was going to be up, and it was going to be moving really fast. And so you can see where the bayou is narrow over there, the current is really ripping really fast, and that would be very difficult to fish that. So I picked this place on purpose because the bayou widens out over here, and I knew that there was a chance for some slack water, you know, where the bayou got wide, the current would come back around, there would be an eddy and some calm water, and that is what's going on, sort of. It's still moving really fast over there, but at least you know, it's coming back and forming one of those circular eddy things instead of just blasting downstream. So I may be able, with enough weight, to fish there. I could try a float, but that doesn't seem like it's gonna go over very well. So we really needed this rain bad. The water level in the bayous and creeks had gotten really low, and it was getting stagnant and hot. And so, you know, all this rainwater pouring into here, I think is gonna be really good for the fish and for the fishing, but I may have jumped the gun a little bit. It may be a bit too soon. Oh, something's got my line. Something just hammered that. All right, well, that was a good sign. I just threw the bait in the water, and while I was trying to explain how challenging it's gonna be here, something pretty big took it. So yeah, I think for the sake of fishing, it's gonna be really good that we got all this rain. It just may have been better to wait another day or two until things calm down. All right. Since the water is so murky here, and you know, there's really no visibility for the fish to be hunting by sight, I figure they're mostly gonna be going off of smell. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of putting a whole shad on, I'm gonna cut it up a little bit and allow some of the organs and fluids in here to leak out, so that fish that use smell to find their food, like catfish and stuff, will be able to hone in on this. Well, I've got no idea how to fish this. So I've got a float with a leader and a half a shad on this one. I've just tossed it into the eddy, and I'm letting that just kind of circle around out there. And this one has a 1 ounce sinker, and that one's on the bottom somewhere. Snagged up already. I knew that was gonna happen. There's a big down tree right there, which I remember from when the water was lower. Alrighty, this is on the float. Certainly a fish. That ain't the current. What it is, no idea. whatever that was, he got me fair and square. Maybe a big gar. It's gonna be a very, very challenging day. I'll be lucky if I land anything today. Fish on, baby. Fish on. Stay off the side. Come on, baby. Where are ya? Oh! Broke the line. I mean, snapped the 65-pound braid. Oh my God. Just totally snapped the line. It's really painful to have a huge fish on like that, not get to see what it was, have it right up to shore, and then snap the line. 65-pound braid with a wire leader. I'm freshwater fishing. What more do I need? Should be handling it better, but losing that big fish really took the wind out of my sails. It's really rare, uncommon to hook up on something that large. I mean, in the 6 months that I've been fishing here, you know, I've maybe caught 2 fish comparable to whatever that was. So, you know, it's a painful loss. And honestly, what bothers me even more is that now that fish has a hook and a float that he's dragging around. And damn it, you know, after that alligator snapper leaving that hook in his mouth last week, it's just like, I need to get my act together. I feel like I'm a menace to the wildlife out here, and that's the last thing I want to do. You know, it's hard to understand why I have not had a single bite since I lost that fish. It's almost like he went out there and spread the word and said, hey, don't take the bait. I'm sure that's not it, but the only thing I can think of is maybe that, you know, the fish were biting in the morning. So I got out here really early before the sun had even come up, and I was just getting tons of action. And it seemed like once the sun started shining, it just dropped off, and now nothing. All right, enough moping. I can't let that get me down and ruin my day. I'm gonna take my cast net and try to get some really fresh bait and see if we can salvage this day. It's funny, I was just going to turn the camera on and complain that I hadn't had a bite in 2 hours and wonder what was going on, and right at that moment, something finally took my bait for the first time since I lost that big fish. It ripped the bait off and I got nothing, but at least I'm seeing a little bit of action again. Whoa. There we go. Finally, little bit of redemption. That's more like it. Nothing compared to what was on the line earlier that broke my line. Whatever that was much bigger. But this is a beautiful blue catfish. Man, these things are really just gorgeous fish. I love that. Wow, nice. All right. Well, it's certainly not the huge monster that broke my line earlier, but this is a really nice fish. And I'm so glad to just catch something today after all that frustration. So, yeah, really nice blue catfish. And I'm gonna turn him loose now. Wanna say hi before I let you go? You wanna croak? All right, well, I guess he's not in a talking mood. And he's off. Perfectly healthy, gonna be just fine. Just had another bite. All right, now I'm feeling better. I really needed that. My morale was in the gutter. So my nickname for this part of Buffalo Bayou is the Little Ganges. I'll show you why. See all that trash, nasty stuff in there. It's quite sad actually, but you know, when we get rains, stuff just washes into here. People throw shit in here. It's just it's a nasty mess. That's why people always ask me if I ever keep the fish or if I eat them, and the answer is hell no, not out of this bayou. Man, the current is really wreaking havoc with my gear, so every time I pull my float in, it's something else. But I don't know if you can see this. The line is all tangled up, the float's wrapped back around on itself. There's a lot of debris in the water, so that's tangled up in here. I mean, this is a huge mess. No wonder nothing's biting this. Well, it's certainly been a day. Plenty of ups and downs. Seems to go like that a lot. Losing that big fish this morning, that was a major kick in the guts. Whatever that was, probably would have been my personal best. Maybe the biggest fish I ever caught, but hey, you win some, you lose some. It was nice to catch that other blue catfish. That was actually the second biggest one that I've ever caught, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was interesting dealing with this flooded bayou here. It definitely presented a lot of challenges. Fighting the current has been tough, but I think that if it hadn't flooded like this, if we hadn't got all those rains, I don't think I would have been able to catch anything here today. I think it would have been too shallow and hot, and I would have just been sitting out here with no action. So, but as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope everyone's doing well. Take care, and I will see you next time.